My name is Ruth Carter, and I am the owner of Carter Law Firm in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm also a professional blogger for my firm, for The Undeniable Ruth, and attorney at work. And I love flash mobs. I participated in my first flash mob during my first year of law school, and that was the International No Pants Ride. And it was at that event that I met the people with whom I formed Improv Arizona. And we've been going strong ever since. We do about one event a quarter, and some of our past events include the International No Pants Ride, the award-winning epic superhero battle, welcoming a stranger back at the airport, the Apple Store invasion, a fake protest, and the list goes on. And it was from the beginning that I was intrigued by the legalities of flash mobs, everything that goes into planning the event, putting on the event, and the legal implications that come into play once the event is over. And as far as I know, there's only one other attorney in the country who practices flash mob law. So what is flash mob law? It's a combination of criminal, tort, property, intellectual property, First Amendment, and entertainment law. And this is an underserved population because most troops do not have in-house counsel, and most of them aren't going to feel comfortable just calling any attorney for help with their event. Now, let me make one thing clear. I am not talking about what the media likes to call flash mob crime or flash robs. When someone uses social media to organize 24 people to rob a convenience store, that's just shoplifting. That is not a flash mob. Nails on a chalkboard to me. The flash mobs that I'm talking about have been going on at least since the 1970s. Back then, they were called happenings. In the last 10 years, flash mobs become kind of common. Some cities have multiple flash mob troops, my city included. Companies are using them now as a type of guerrilla marketing, and they're relatively easy to organize with email, text messages, and social media sites like Facebook. So let's get into some of the legalities of flash mobs. Ideally, a lawyer is involved from the beginning, because if you have two people and a plan, and that plan happens to involve a crime, and one of those people does one thing in furtherance of that crime, even if that act in and of itself is legal, like buying a poster board, that's conspiracy. Likewise, if you post that event up on Facebook and you invite the general public to participate in the event, that's solicitation. Also, when you're planning a flash mob, you need to provide guidelines for your participants so that they know what their do's and don'ts are during the event. For example, every year before the No Pants Ride, we look up the Arizona decency law so we can tell our participants how much of their tush they have to have covered. For other events, I've had to look up laws like impersonating a government official, trespassing, littering, assault, disorderly conduct, blocking a thoroughfare, and whether or not it is illegal to feed somebody else's expired parking meter while wearing a tutu and fairy wings. Now, organizers need to also be aware of whether or not they could be held criminally liable for their participants if they don't follow the guidelines that they lay out. For instance, April 7th is International Pillow Fight Day. There are pillow fights all over the world. One year at the New York pillow fight, a woman hit a cop with her pillow, and she was arrested. The first question I had was, could the organizers have also been arrested that day had they been identified? Also, organizers need to be aware of potential civil liability. My troop, like most flash mob troops, are just a group of friends and a website. We don't have a formal entity. We don't have liability insurance. So if we get sued and lose, we're on the hook as individuals. And remember, after a flash mob, the videos and the photos from the event show up online in about 3 seconds. That is evidence that can and will be used against us. That also means that a much broader audience is seeing our event than those who were actually present when the flash mob happened. I'm also pretty sure that there are reporters who are on our email list because they always tend to know what we're up to and where to send a cameraman to shoot footage for the evening news. Not that we don't mind the exposure. So that means there are some people that you may not want to see the footage from the flash mob who are going to see it, like your boss. Arizona has at-will employment, and we have had people who have been the target of backlash at work for participating in the no pants ride. And for some people, it is possible that they might be arrested for participating in a flash mob on their own time when no rules were being broken, no laws were being broken. Also, once the flash mob is over, there may be a question about who owns all that intellectual property, all the photos and the videos from the event, particularly if a flash mob troop has its own videographers and photographers. The videos get really interesting because some troops have multiple videographers, and by the end of the event, we might have hours of footage to go through, edit down, and create our 3 to 5 minute video, which we also like to set to music, and when possible, we like to use a local band. So that means we also need a license from the band to not only use their song, but to edit it, modify it, and cut it down to our desired length. So that's all I have. I want to thank the organizers of LexSync and all of you for giving me this 6 minutes to share my passion for flash mobs and flash mob law. I hope I've piqued some of your curiosities in this area, and maybe even for some of you, I've inspired you to participate in a flash mob in your community. Thank you.